Now, we've got very close here odds on the outright for this match. Crystal Palace versus Watford. Does this mean that we could be looking at the draw?
Absolutely, Natalie. Whenever your bookmakers can't split the two sides, you've probably heard me say this many times before when I've spoken to you over the last season. When bookies can't split the two sides, the draw is always the biggest price of the three outcomes. Why is that? It's crazy. If you ask 50 people in the street, they'll all say it'll be a draw. The reason why is nobody bets on the draw. Well, let's bet on the draw in this one. It's the most obvious call. Two teams struggling for form, struggling for goals. And I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game, and I wouldn't be very surprised to see a 0-0 and completely fizzle out to a non-event, just like what they did when they played Chelsea a couple of weeks ago. I just don't see many goals. Two sides really, really struggling for goals, and I think the draw is obviously one of the best bets of the game, and also, one of the best value bets the Premier League this weekend.
I am one of those draw-avoiding people, I have to say. Is it like stats? Isn't there like less likelihood of a draw? Like, is there why do people not like the draw?
They don't like the draw. The reason they don't like the draw is because they want to pick a side. They want to pick a one side, Crystal Palace or Watford. Nobody thinks of the draw, and that is why when I worked as an odds compiler for bookmakers over in the UK, if ever it was a draw in a live Premier League game, it meant that the bookmakers won hundreds of thousands of pounds because nobody bet the draw. They all have their allegiance to one side or the other. And situations like this, we've got to capitalise on. It's the biggest price. It's the most obvious. Well, let's get stuck into it. Let's make sure they don't make any money and back the draw.
Yeah, all right, back in the draw. And I have to say as well, that comment you made about the under as well, I'm going for the under. Both teams have scored 14. Crystal Palace at home, Watford away. The reverse saw a 1-0 away win for Crystal Palace. And the under there, 1.62 bet Victor. So we like the under and we like the draw. Again, in agreement, Nigel, what's happening?
Well, I can't explain it this week. I don't know.
Have you been reading my notes or something? What's happening?
I think so. I think some of the production people have sent me some stuff over to you and had a look at. But I think sometimes we look at these things and you have to agree on the most obvious. Adebayor is not the answer for goals. He doesn't look like scoring goals. He doesn't look interested. Watford, the goals are drying up with Iguala and Troy Deeney as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see this being 0-0. You remember, at the no goal score.
All right, fantastic stuff, Nigel. Thank you for joining us.